On a vu certains Camerounais bloquer le stade de l'Embe en disant que les Lions ne sortent pas, ou bien la Coupe d'Afrique ne sort pas, ça ne quitte pas du Cameroun. Est-ce que les Camerounais n'acceptent pas facilement la défaite?
Well, defeat is natural. We should say that game, anything that is called game is unpredictable. You can never say, because it's true that these people, we Cameroonians were expecting a lot, but it never happened the way we wanted it to be. But blocking the stadium is another sign of irresponsibility, because we are mature enough to know what is good for us and what we are supposed to do, know our rights and know our responsibilities.
Yes, you are a human rights defender, and apparently our schools are still being plagued with violence this time around, coming from students. And recently, 2 students or 3 students, 2 on the run at government high school, Aqua North here in Douala. They are on the run after they reportedly stabbed to near death a motorbike rider who intervened, who came to save the life of a senior master of discipline that was being harassed or tortured by those students.
Well, let me say this, such act is not the first time this type of act is happening in our school milieu. It's really regrettable that our students are involving themselves in all these type of things, and we are told that
most of those... You come late to school and the senior master of discipline tells you you cannot get into or get access into the school compound, and you decide to fight the senior master of discipline.
Which is normal, because all of the schools are working on rules and regulations. They have their time limit. That if you come before this time, you will not enter the school campus. I don't see a reason why these students will be doing whatsoever they are doing. Because, well, let me say, sometimes it's always there's a problem all over. It's a shared responsibility, because I think the students too have the responsibility. They have some responsibility as the students to be good students, so as to achieve what you came there to do. Same as the parents too have their own responsibility to make sure that they try to bring up their children in a very mature or a good moral way, so in a way that they cannot be radical and all the rest, while the teachers too, on their part, equally have a role to play. So even though we are doing everything possible to start a campaign to fight all these type of juvenile delinquency and all type of things that are in one way or the other giving bad, because this type of things are giving a very bad image to our country.
Beaucoup de personnes donnent la raison peut-être à la consommation des stupéfiants dans nos établissements au jour d'aujourd'hui, qui semble être une récurrence, qui semble être à la mode, et puis rien n'est fait jusqu'ici pour limiter ou bien stopper cette consommation à la drogue.
Yes, I think yes. That's most of those guys are doing anything, and so we realize that they are drugs consumers, which is a very bad thing for us. We have been doing like trying to sensitize you, because we too have our own responsibility to make sure that we sensitize you to know the effects of taking of drugs consumption, because drugs you cannot take you anywhere. It's only to damage you at your own level. And maybe not make you
That's a question I wanted to ask. How do these drugs find their way into the country, or how are they able to circulate around town for these kids to lay hands on them?
No, let me first of all say here that most of those drugs are locally made, locally made. From where I come from, the northwest region, we know many people who are cultivating all these type of things. Because sometimes
when the police or the gendarmes, when they seize those things, what do they do with them when they seize them?
Sometimes they are the one that inform that they set them ablaze and so all that sort of things. Because we always have smugglers, and no matter how sharp or how professional these defense and security forces will play their own role, we always have smugglers who will always pass through the back doors and they make sure that they spill all these type of things to Cameroonians. But we need to make sure that even the government make sure that even the defense and security forces should be on alert to make sure that they investigate these schools. They have to go around these schools and investigate the school campus.
Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas des gens qui s'enrichissent avec cette drogue ici au Cameroun et qui font à ce que ce business perdure au risque et péril de nos enfants?
No, actually, there are people who are enriching themselves as a result of social. That's why equal the reason, even at the level of the government, for the government authorities, because those are some of the reasons why it's making the fight against those consumption and some of these things impossible. Like the one that are imported into the country, most of these things pass through the border, and even the defense and security forces or the customs at the border, they are much aware of the entries of all those type of things. But because of money, they are forced to sell their conscience and risk the life of Cameroonians.
Okay, Amadou Tante, and Amnesty International is currently leading a campaign for the release of political prisoners in Cameroon, not leaving out detainees of the Anglophone crisis in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Before we dwell on that, let us have this report that was done for us by Fonquinta.
In a 2-page letter addressed to President of Cameroon, Paul Biya, signed by 27 Cameroonian and international organizations, Amnesty International called on the president to reform laws used to criminalize protests and ensure the release of all arbitrarily detained because of acts of free expression and free assembly. In a later dated Wednesday, February 2, 2022, Amnesty International condemned arbitrary arrest of Cameroonians who are still in jail at the time the country plays host to Africa's biggest continental jamboree, the AFCON. According to Amnesty International, over 100 people have been shut up in prison, most for over a year, some for over 5 years, while some face substantial sentences simply for exercising their human rights. They continued, while celebrations go on outside, these people are suffering in